Everyone, welcome back to RR Corporates. Today we are going to discuss very interesting subject, that is the general power of attorney and special power of attorney. We'll talk about the difference between GPA and SPA, and we'll talk about the legal provisions, the differences, and stamp duty. So, are you confused about this power of attorney, whether it is buying property or managing a business or handling a legal affairs? Granting power of attorney is a common legal practice in India. In this video, we will explain in detail what is general power of attorney and what is special power of attorney, key differences between GPA and SPA, and relevant legal provisions under Indian law, and stamp duty applicable on power of attorney documents. So this is what in detail we'll discuss. So what is power of attorney? So a power of attorney is a legal document that allows one person, so that is either principal or donor, to authorize another person, that is the agent or attorney, to act on their benefit, on their behalf, in personal, financial, or legal matters. So I'll explain again. The power of attorney is a legal document that allows one person to authorize another person, that is either principal or donor, to authorize the agent or attorney to act on their behalf in personal, financial, or legal matters. This is what the definition. Hope you are clear. So here there are two main types, of power of attorney we are talking. So I think definition we are clear. So it is a legal document which allows one person to authorize another person on his behalf, either in the personal, financial, or legal matters. It's very clear, very simple. And there are two types of GPA which we are going to discuss, power of attorneys. One is general power of attorney, another one is a special power of attorney. Then what is general power of attorney? General power of attorney gives a broad authority. So it is a broader concept, a broad authority to the agent to act on behalf of the principal in multiple matters. So you are giving a broad authority, not a specific, a broad authority you are giving for multiple matters, multiple activities, which include buying the property or selling or managing real estate, operating bank account, filing tax returns, managing business affairs. So you are allowing for multiple matters, multiple matters. This is what the definition of general power of attorney. And I'll also explain the features of GPA. So the wide powers over general matters used for long-term arrangements. The GPA used for long-term arrangements. It may continue until revoked, or upon the death of the principal. So how long this GPA continues? So it will continue until revoked or upon the death of the principal. So it will until it will continue. So what is the special power of attorney? Now we are clear about GPA. So now we'll talk about SPA. SPA is special power of attorney. Special power of attorney is granted for a specific purpose or special transaction. The name itself, special power of attorney, it is for specific transaction. So the agent's power is limited to the a particular act or particular transaction as mentioned in the document. I don't think any difficulty in the definition. Very easy, very simple. So this is called a special power of attorney, SPA. So this is the difference between GPA and SPA. And SPA features. What are the features of SPA? It is used for one time or specific task. Example, signing a sale deed. This is one time transaction. I am giving this SPA to my agent for this signing of or a sale deed. Over. automatically ends once the task is completed because this is a SPA. Here it is a more controlled and more restricted. So compared to GPA, this is advantage with SPA. And so now we'll discuss about the key differences between GPA and SPA. So the features, scope of authority. When you come to GPA, this is a broad and general. So GPA is broad scope and general scope, whereas SPA is a specific and limited scope, specific transaction. And duration, GPA usually long term until revoked or death, whereas SPA ends after the specified act is done. Because you are giving for this one transaction for selling of this property, then once the property is sold, then there it is a matter, then SPA is over. That is the duration. And then the features. When we talk about the features difference, then the general power of attorney and special power of attorney, if you talk about the purpose, GPA is for multiple tasks, multiple purpose, whereas SPA is for one-time task, one-time purpose. And if you talk about legal risk, GPA is a higher risk due to wide powers you are giving. So risk is high. And whereas SPA is a lower risk due to restricted use, we are telling duration is restricted. And features, again stamp duty. We are talking about stamp duty in GPA higher in some states because it is state to state, it may vary. It will vary state to state. And compared to GPA, SPA is a lower. So the legal provisions for power of attorney in India, what are the laws involved? The law relating to power of attorney is governed by not only one law, various laws involved. I will explain in detail. First, we'll talk about Indian Contract Act 1872. Indian Contract Act. So the relationship between the principal and the agent. Principal and agent is a contractual in nature because I am giving as a principal authority to my agent. So here, Indian Contract Act 1872 follows the relationship between the principal and the agent is a contractual in nature. Then another act comes into picture, Power of Attorney Act 1882. So it governs the execution, then authentication and revocation of power of attorney. So these are all covered under Power of Attorney Act 1882. Then Registration Act comes into picture. Registration Act 1908. Section 17 of Registration Act. Registration is mandatory for POA, power of attorney, relating to immovable property if the agent is empowered to sell. So registration is mandatory. So then fourth act, Indian Evidence Act 1872. So the POA, the power of attorney document may be produced in evidence of legal proceedings. So there Indian Evidence Act. Then again fifth one, stamp duty on power of attorney in India. Stamp duty. So stamp duty is governed by the Indian Stamp Act and relevant state acts. So we have to see the relevant state act. So which state we are doing? So we have to go by that Stamp Act. See, so many acts are involved. Really wonder, no? Yes, for power of attorney, this much of knowledge is required, but very simple. And what are the general rules? I'll explain general rules also. GPA involving immovable property. So must be registered and attract higher stamp duty. Hope you are clear. Then SPA for single transaction usually attracts low duty and registration. Some occasions may not be mandatory in some states. And example, stamp duty rates. So it varies state to state. It varies state to state. So important is registration is mandatory for any power of attorney related to the sale of immovable property. So, even as per Supreme Court ruling in Suraj Lamp versus Suraj Lamp and Industries versus State of Haryana. This is the 2011 ruling, Supreme Court ruling. So there it is very clearly stated that registration is mandatory for any POA related to sale of immovable property. And we also talk about validity and revocation of power of attorney. So a POA is valid until the principal revokes it in writing. So the agent renounces it, either party dies or becomes incapacitated. It's very clear, simple language. And then revocation must be done in writing, notified to the concerned parties. So registered if the original POA was registered. Original POA registered, so revocation also shall be registered. So when to use GPA versus SPA? Then see, managing multiple assets, multiple business, go for GPA. And single property transaction, go for SPA. Then legal representation in one case, go for SPA. Even for one transaction, don't give GPA. It is a risky. And then delegating a broad financial powers. The duration also long. Then go for GPA. So now the conclusion is understanding the difference between general power of attorney and special power of attorney, that is between GPA and SPA, is crucial to avoid legal issues. Always ensure a proper drafting. Proper drafting is required, understanding is required, and proper drafting of power of attorney, stamp duty duly paid, then registration is completed when as required by law. Then for legal security, consult a legal professional if you have any doubt. And before executing any power of attorney, it is better you take a legal opinion, legal suggestion, and legal drafting. I think you are very clear. I made it very simple and explained in detail, easy to understand. We have two channels. One is RR Corporates. We explain corporate laws, insolvency laws, general laws, and we have other channel RR Legal Talks. We talk many legal issues. We also talk on public issues, IPOs. Please do subscribe our channels, two channels, RR Corporates and RR Legal Talks. Thank you.